In life, in death. Just under 4 years ago, on July 3rd, 2021, Paul Primary School Principal Oni Stevens and his wife, Kamisha Stevens, stood before God, family, and friends as they promised to love each other in sickness and health until death when they part. On Saturday, their bodies, placed in white coffins, were rolled into the Holy Trinity Cathedral on North Street in Kingston, and some of the same family members and friends who had witnessed their union gathered to bid them farewell at a Christian burial service celebrating their lives. As the pews of the cathedral filled with mourners, some wept as they walked by the remains of the couple. There were individuals they met separately but grew to love together. The funeral program read Forever United, completed with a picture of the couple among clouds. Oni's mother, Noreen Stevens, and his brother, Sheldon Stevens, wept as they comforted each other, and Oni's daughter, Daniela. The family received heartfelt hugs and condolences from Education Minister Dana Mars Dixon and Permanent Secretary Kisan Thrope, students of Ross Ripple Primary, and staff from Scotia, where Kamisha worked. In remembrance of her dear friend O'Neill, past teacher Sister Palmer described him as a family man who loved his two daughters and wife unconditionally. We know that his love for her, Kamisha, was stronger than his love for anything else. She was said to be his true love. Not many people have that privilege with their partner, but they shared an incredible love story for over 10 years. From the moment they met, she was his special treasure. He captivated him. He completed her. They were a beautiful pair. They lived on a foundation of love, laughter, and partnership in every sense of word. They love with a testament to what is truly meaningful to find your person in life, Palmer's told the Park Cathedral. Losing O'Neill and Kamisha has been an unbearable pain. It's like a pin stuck in a tender part of the flesh that no surgeon can remove. It's really a funny pain. The funniest part is having to go on with your basic life without the people you love, she stated. O'Neill and Kamisha died in a motor vehicle collision in the United States on July 3rd, 2025, leaving behind their two daughters. The news sent shockwaves across the entire island. Principal of Jesuit Primary from 2018 to his untimely death, O'Neill was remembered by Palmer as a committed educator who would put all his efforts in developing young minds. His tenure at the primary school was marked by a commitment of excellence and the holistic development of students. He connected with students and parents seamlessly, bearing strong relationships, addressing concerns, encouraging parental involvement, keeping parents informed, and collaborating for student success. He was the bridge between students, parents, and teachers, ensuring a collaborative and thriving school community, stated Palmer. The personality of a man stood loudly, his tattoo, his attire, always smiling with a pleasing personality. He was more than approachable. This was partially because of the warmth he executed to everyone who he came in contact with and those who worked with him. His mother would tell you of his flaws because a mother knows. Yes, he was not always right, but he pushed to be respectful at all times. Smiles and a positive word were his currency, along with the generous and attentive attitude, the consummated gentleman. O'Neill was a 21st century thinker and a nation builder who had a clear vision for our nation's future and inspired others to work towards it, Palmer stated. The education minister, in her remarks, said that it was a heavy heart that she bid farewell to the couple, whose sudden departure was a tremendous loss for everyone. I can tell you that since their passing around the country, everyone has been speaking about it. The entire Jamaica felt this loss. It wasn't just a loss for the primary school or their family and friends. It was a loss for Jamaica, stated Morris Dixon, America University study alumni who would supervise training teachers in their practical examinations and one of the 130 educators honored at the 2024 LASCO Teacher Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET Teacher and Principal of the Year award in December. O'Neill was praised for his zeal for shaping the future of the nation. He was committed to his students, and he was committed to his work. He was an advocate for accountability in the education system, and the permanent secretary notes how much the Ministry of Education could rely on him. He never said no when asked to support the ministry, Morris Dixon recalling, adding that O'Neill was even recognized outside of Jamaica as one of the best. The Education Minister also remembered Kamisha for the role she played in helping students at the primary school as a dedicated member of the school's welfare community. She stood and worked proudly with her husband at every juncture, sharing his vision and pouring her heart into the school community. Together, they created an environment where students thrived, parents felt heard, and staff were empowered to bring out the best in every child. Their love for the primary school was pleasantly felt, stated the minister. The 2.5-year-long ceremony was filled with musical tributes from staff and the students at the primary school, Scotiabank Quality Education Circle Number 1, a grouping of educational institutions of which O'Neill was a member, family and close friends that brought much life and joy to the somber occasion. As he paid his last respect to his son, Paul Stevens recounted the last time they talked. It was on November morning when they went to church together. I miss him, and I'm really mourning. He was a very humble son, kind, loving, and motivating. I cannot find an adjective to describe O'Neill. He was a father figure, a family-oriented person, stated the elder Stevens. O'Neill Stevens, your love was a whisper of joy, laughter, and love. Though your time with us was far too short, your impact on my life will be eternal. I remember the way you walk. I remember the way you speak. I remember you now with every fiber of my being. Your presence lifted my world, and your absence has left me gaping hold in my heart. But when in death, your legacy lives on. Rest now, my sweet boy. You will never be forgotten by me, he stated. In remembrance of her cousin, Joanne Bromwell described Kamisha as a loving caretaker who would often keep her sisters in line when their mother was not around. She spoke about Kamisha's love for literature, joking that you could always find her with her nose deep in a new novel. Family, friends, and well-wishers alike would often warn her mom, tell Kamisha to stop walk on the road and read. Mind she book in a one light post, she said laughing. Kamisha remained a vivid reader until her passing. She never booked in any light pole, Bromwell said, chuckling softly. She shared that her cousin blossomed from a reserved child into a confident individual and fashionista with standards of excellence, turning everything she touched into gold and copying many awards along the way. Kamisha flourished as a wife and mother, a beautiful, charming, dedicated homemaker. She evolved into the consummate host. She enjoyed making magic in the kitchen and inviting close family over to her small, intimate get-togethers, where her creative delights would tranquilize taste buds, she recalls smiling. We pray that even as she and O'Neill were inseparable in life and remain so in death, that their souls will rest together in eternal peace, joy, and love, stated Bramwell. Peter Mahan, branch manager of Scotia Constant Spring, where Kamisha worked as a personal banking officer, shared that behind her professionalism, Kamisha was a team player. She was always willing to lend a helping hand, support branch initiatives, and uplift those around her with warmth and positivity. Her friendly demeanor, creativity, and professionalism fosters a collaborating and inspiring work environment, stated Mahan. We eagerly anticipate her return to work on September 6, 2025, after a well-deserved vacation, but instead, we are grieving her sudden and tragic passing on January 3, 2025. The void she leaves behind is immeasurable, but her legacy of kindness, professionalism, and dedication will forever remain in our hearts, he shared. The couple was also remembered by O'Neill's brother, Andre Stevens, who described his sibling as a symbol of unity and his sister-in-law as a ray of sunshine who always had a bright smile. As the tributes came to an end, O'Neill and Kamisha's coffins were sprinkled with holy water that, in the Catholic faith, reminds loved ones of their baptism. A white pail was also placed on each of them coffins, a symbol of a white garment that they wore on their baptism. A lit candle also stood tall at the altar, a symbol of Christ's presence. After the ceremonial blessing of their bodies, O'Neill and Kamisha's coffins were placed together, to each next to the altar in front of their loved ones. A full circle moment that mimicked the day when they became husband and wife. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.